Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really wild geopolitical story that's unfolding around the world's largest island. We're talking about Greenland, which has suddenly become the focus of an intense international tug-of-war. So let's get right into it. So it all kicked off with this. A truly stunning statement. Picture this. You're at the World Economic Forum in Davos, surrounded by global leaders, and the US president just comes out and says this. Let's be clear. This wasn't some off-the-cuff remark or a joke. It was a direct demand, and it sent absolute shockwaves through diplomatic circles. And the response that came back from Greenland and from Denmark, which holds its sovereignty, well, it was just as fast and just as clear. A simple, powerful two-word answer. Greenland is open for business for sure, but it is not for sale. But as you can imagine, that firm no really didn't do much to calm things down. So how on earth did we get here? This demand, made on a huge global stage, wasn't just some random idea. It was a very calculated move, a signal of this incredibly intense, renewed American focus on the Arctic. And it has put some of America's closest allies in a really tough spot. And, the choice of where to say this was no accident at all. By making this declaration at Davos, the U.S. basically forced the issue right onto the global agenda. This wasn't some quiet note passed between diplomats. This was designed to turn a territorial ambition into an immediate global flashpoint. And you can really feel the tension in this quote from Denmark's foreign minister. Now, the U.S. later said it wouldn't use military force, but the diplomatic pressure is just immense. As he put it, the challenge, the problem, it hasn't gone away. So what's really going on here? Why this sudden, intense focus on Greenland? And that right there is the million-dollar question. Because Greenland isn't just a very big piece of ice, as some have called it. No, it is arguably one of the most strategically important places on the entire planet for the 21st century. Okay, just take a look at this map for a second. The geography here is everything. Look at where Greenland is sitting. It's like the guardian of the Arctic. It's a huge part of what's called the GIUK Gap, a critical naval choke point, and it sits right on top of the future shipping lanes that are going to open up as all that polar ice continues to melt. It's literally the bridge between North America and Europe. So it really boils down to three huge things. First, its military position is absolutely vital for NATO's early warning systems and for keeping an eye on space. Second, it's sitting on a treasure trove of untapped rare earth minerals, the stuff that makes all of our modern tech work. And third, whoever has influence over Greenland gets a major say in the future of global trade, right through the Arctic.
Let's just quickly break down that military term, GIUK. It stands for Greenland, Iceland, and the United Kingdom. For decades, controlling this waterway has been central to NATO's strategy. It's how you monitor submarines and warships and secure the sea lanes between the continents. And Greenland, it's the northern anchor of that whole defensive chain.
And wow, just look at the economic prize we're talking about here. These aren't just any minerals. They're on the critical list for both the EU and the US. We're talking about the rare earths inside our smartphones and wind turbines, the graphite and lithium that power all our batteries. Greenland has them, and in enormous, untouched quantities. But here's the real twist in all of this. You might think this is a totally modern drama, but nope. This is actually just the latest chapter in a very, very old story. America's interest in Greenland isn't new at all. It's a long-standing strategic obsession. The truth is, the U.S. has been trying to get its hands on Greenland for more than a century and a half. Just look at this timeline. The ambition goes way, way back. It started in 1867, right after the U.S. bought Alaska. Then, in 1910, there was even a plan floated to trade parts of the Philippines for it. The most serious attempt probably came right after World War II, with a secret offer of solid gold. And now, here we are, with the pressure ramping right back up again. And let's just pause on that 1946 offer for a second. $100 million in gold bullion. In today's money, that's well over $1 billion. Back then, the U.S. saw the island as an absolute military necessity for confronting the Soviet Union. They literally called it a stationary aircraft carrier. And yet, even then, with their economy in ruins after the war, Denmark's answer was a polite but very firm no. This quote from their foreign minister at the time really shows how consistent their position has been. Hey, we're grateful for your help, but we're not about to sell you our territory. Which brings us to the most important voice in this entire debate. the voice of the people who actually live there. Because in this huge geopolitical chess game, it's so easy to forget that Greenland is a country with its own people, its own culture, and its own dreams for the future. This is the entire population of Greenland, a little over 56,000 people. Think about that. It's a small, democratic community spread out across this unbelievably vast landscape. And when it comes to the idea of becoming part of the United States, well, their view could not be more clear. I mean, just look at these numbers from a recent poll. 85% of Greenlanders are against the idea. That's not just a no, that is an absolute landslide. For them, this isn't some real estate negotiation. It's about their national identity and their right to decide their own future. And it all comes down to this one simple, powerful phrase. You hear it from Greenland's leaders over and over again. It's a straightforward demand to be treated like a partner, not like a pawn that can be moved around some global chessboard. And you know what? They have the law on their side. The Act on Self-Government explicitly recognizes them as a people with the right to self-determination. The path forward for Greenland, as they see it, is towards more autonomy and maybe even independence one day, not being absorbed by another superpower. So that's where we are today. Greenland is stuck, really right in the middle of this massive tug-of-war, with global powers offering up two very, very different visions for its future. On the one hand, you've got the recent American approach, constant pressure to sell, a huge focus on military security, and these unilateral demands. And on the other hand, you see the European Union strategy, which is all about offering partnership, investing in sustainable development, and cooperating on getting those critical resources. Two completely different ways of doing things. And all of that leaves us with this final, crucial question. As the Arctic melts and its strategic value just skyrockets, Greenland finds itself being courted and pressured like never before in its history. It's sitting on incredible natural wealth and a geographic position that's second to none, but its people have a crystal clear vision for their own sovereignty. The question is, in a world full of competing giants, will they actually be able to forge their own path?